Okay, we're just up from camp right now in Sasquatch Alley, and we've been hearing some wood knocks. They started around 3 o'clock, way off in the distance. 45 minutes later, we're still hearing wood knocks, and they're a whole lot closer this time. So basically what I'm going to do is just keep the camera handy. See what happens. Sasquatch Alley is an area that I have been working for years. I chose this area due to all the activity we have had over the years during certain seasons, and also from the many reports that have come out of this area for decades. Hey Adrian, look at this one. The story I'm going to share happened on June 30th, 2018. This is the night something came into our camp. Most of these close encounter videos are just personal experiences. But this one, I was documenting everything that was happening that day on video. It all started with just a few knocking sounds off in the distance. But late afternoon, those distant knocks were just across from us, up on the hillside. They continued off and on for the rest of the afternoon, but after a while everything quieted down. The first night was pretty uneventful. On the second day, everything seemed pretty normal. We were having a great time enjoying our camping trip and didn't have any worries of anything for that day. But all of that was going to change once the sun went down. Twilight is a special time of day. The sun has already passed behind the mountains. The sky is that dark blue, almost purple color, and the shadows of the forest start creeping in around you. That is when we heard our first knock of the night. It came from the same area as the other day, but we feared it was about 100 yards from us. We heard a couple more in that hour, but for the rest of that time, it was pretty quiet. But there was something in the air that night. I can't really explain what that was, but there was a slight heaviness that just kind of hung in the air. We had dinner and got our fire going for the night. We were sitting there just talking, and that is when we heard a scream from the southwest direction. I was running a recorder at the time. To this day, this was the longest vocal call we have ever heard. The vocal happened around 11 p.m. Here's what we recorded.
Ah, that's good shit, dude. It's fun. I believe you. And you were awake. Yep, still going. Still going, isn't it? Yeah. heard that one before. It's going. It's still going. It's not.
It is always important to document everything during or right after an event, because everything is still very fresh in your mind. Okay. How do you describe that?
Oh, the sound. I mean, we're sitting there waiting for something, you know, like some kind of feedback. And so we're sitting there, and it was a long howl, but it was a high pitch. So it wasn't like a wolf or any kind of like normal. But it was constant. It was elongated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was like.
And it was
pitched.
continuous.
Like, yeah. So for like at least 15, 20 seconds, elongated, and then I pause, I get kind of giddy, and then I go back and listen. I'm like, there it is again. So it was consistent though, like for at least a minute and a half.
Yeah. That has to be the longest vocalization I've ever heard.
I so much hope that your recorder picked that up on your rig like that, and I mean.
So about 20 minutes later, we were still sitting around the campfire discussing that vocal call we heard. And then all of a sudden we heard what sounded like one of our coolers being picked up. Even though we have coolers that are bear proof, if you believe the sticker that's on them, we still set up our coolers away from our camp just to be on the safe side. So here's the audio from the recorder when this all took place.
Maybe not. That's a what? You know what I mean? But that scream was cool. Yeah, right there, right now. Like seriously, dude.
Yeah.
So we slowly got up and headed in that direction to check on our coolers. Now at this time I did not have a thermal camera or a camera that could see in night vision. So this is a basic camera and flashlights. So here's the video. Maybe it was just your cooler. Hold on.
No, fuck me, man. I'm going. Now, if there's a gremlin cooler, I got it. Oh! We're clear.
Cooler is clear, sir.
I don't know. It was very shuffled, though. You
It
know?
was.
Like, I guess if cooler ice had to shuffle like that, okay, maybe. But
Adrian? Adrian?
yeah.
I don't want to take my eyes off of it. Come here. Light right there.
You pointing or putting it? What you got?
I thought I saw eye shine. Right in there. A little to your right. Yeah, right there. I mean, it was just glowing.
Let go.
So after that, we made sure everything was secure. Whatever needed to go into our vehicles, we put them in there. And we decided to call it a night. Things had kind of calmed down a little bit. and we just decided to go to bed. And that's when the real fun begins. So within 10-15 minutes of laying down in my tent, I heard something walk across this gravel parking lot area towards my tent, and it got right up next to my tent, and I'm assuming an arm, most likely, reached underneath my tent. I could see all the material on the floor of the tent raise up, and it was a long reach. So something reached underneath my tent and just slightly lifted up my air mattress, maybe about an inch or so, which would, lifted up my head, which kind of freaked me out. But at that time, I thought it was maybe my friend, and I sarcastically was like, "Yeah," but nobody ever responded to me. And I could hear something moving around my tent, and I could see my tent moving a little bit as it pressed in next to it, and my watch alarm goes off, and I'm assuming that maybe that spooked it, and it eventually turned and tripped on one of my tie downs for my tent, which kind of pulled my tent in the direction it was running in, and it freaked me out. And of course, certain words come out of my mouth, so I apologize for the language that you're about to hear in this audio recording.
Yeah.
Hey, Adrian?
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
What? What?
Something just grabbed my tent.
Something grabbed your tent? You sure about that?
Fuck this, man.
What do you mean something grabbed your tent?
Something just bumped right into my fucking tent, walked right up on me. I thought it was you for a second. So I got out of my tent, looked around. I didn't see anything. My adrenaline's pumping. But like I said, I didn't see anything. Could hear something off in the distance, but no visual of anything. So I climb back into my tent, and 20 minutes later, this happens. Yes, I'm going out.
What's up?
Hold on. So of course I got out of my tent again. My vehicle seemed fine, but I could definitely hear something moving around across the road from our camp. Super dark, couldn't see much of anything, and but I could hear something moving around. So I decided I need to get this on film and start documenting what's happening. Okay. So my buddy and I went to bed at 1 a.m. No, we went to bed at midnight. And I'm laying in bed. I'm not asleep yet. And I hear footsteps moving towards my tent, the front of my tent. And I just assumed it was my friend Adrian. And all of a sudden, I thought he stuck his hand underneath my tent, right underneath my tent, right next to my head. And I thought he was playing a joke on me. So I said, yeah, what are you doing? Something like that. And he didn't respond. And whatever did that just walked to the right of my tent, bumping it. Right then my watch alarm went off. It turned, it came around the backside here, and pulled my tent right there. I mean, literally, just pulled it. And I've had to get out a couple times already and look around. Keep hearing occasional footsteps, stuff being dragged. I thought I heard some possible whoop sounds across the road from us. It's creepy. It is 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I am wired. Yeah, I'm still hearing something moving across the road.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, keep listening. I don't know. So what are you, like, on the road itself or the woods behind it?
I want to say the woods.
So you're hearing cracking?
Possibly. You're gonna think I'm crazy.
What? What?
It sounds like voices. My light just came on. Got a motion sensor light outside my tent.
I got no visual. And that's motion towards you?
Yes.
I got nothing, dude.
Alright.
Why would it go off?
I don't know.
Wait, did you move your tent or anything?
Well, there might be a little breeze, maybe. I just didn't think it was that sensitive.
So you're thinking you're hearing voices, you're saying?
Yeah, way off in the distance. Like across the road in the woods.
Like in a radio, kind of?
No, I don't... It sounds like a woman's voice. Sort of.
You're probably ready to fall asleep by now, are you?
What's that?
Are you ready to fall asleep?
I'd love to fall asleep right now. So eventually we did calm down and try to lay back down and get some sleep. And my friend's trying to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. But what happens next, you can hear how his tone of voice changes from cheerful to slightly concerned. And this was one of the last things we heard before we drifted off to sleep.
Say identify yourself. Say it. I'll fucking kill you all. Oh, damn it. Just trying to lighten it a little.
Alright, something's running through the tree line.
Same area?
Yeah.
Away from?
It's across the road.
Okay, keep listening.
Is that you?
No.
That's on your side.
Yeah.
So the next morning, we decided to start packing things up. It was the end of our camping trip, but we wanted to recreate, or at least try to recreate, what I heard that night. So we wanted to know the exact direction, pretty close to where the scene walked from. So my buddy decided he was going to walk across the parking lot in a couple different locations to see if it sounded anything like what I heard. So here's the recreation of that.
Are you recording too?
Yeah.
Alright, recorder on.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Test, simulation, sound, walk up.
I'm hearing more gravel.
Okay, hold that one. So last time you heard, what was it, different?
I heard more gravel.
Okay, I'm gonna go from a different direction then.
All right.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Recording number 2.
Sounds better. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So the second time I came more from the side where my cuts are. There's more gravel on that side of the parking lot.
That's exactly what I heard. It sounded, yeah, I mean, it sounded.
And when I started from that side, there wasn't as much gravel, so chances are from that corner over there, watch the top. The leaving plan, I'm curious what the fuck it went to.
So exactly what did we experience out there? I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. I think we're all thinking the same thing of what it could be. But I don't have evidence to claim that it was definitely Bigfoot. But we did hear several knocks. We heard banging sounds. We heard voices. It was strange. It sounded like a woman talking, but you couldn't make out any of the words. But it was off at a distance. We did hear some vocalizations. Something did, maneuver around my tent and touched my tent physically. The whole experience that night freaked me out. I didn't go back to this location for at least 2 weeks. Had a hard time sleeping at night after this. I kept, replaying the whole thing in my dreams, and it was 2 weeks there that I wasn't getting much sleep at home. But I decided I wanted to face my fear, so 2 weeks later we headed back in and camped just down the road from this location. And of course, on that trip we ended up getting some wood knocks. We heard some crazy vocalizations, but I faced my fear, and actually I'm going back to this exact location here in the next few days, and I'm going solo, so I'm hoping for some action. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.